Bibbity bibop shoo pow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with 3 more tips to help you be better at Khorne. I'm trying to remember all of the tips in this video. More useful for multiplayer than campaign, but maybe you'll get some useful stuff out of here. A reminder to like and subscribe if you feel like it. Now, this is a problem I do see in a lot of new player tournaments. This is the most common problem I see, and one of the first things people need to fix. Now, this just generally applies to flying units across the board. These tips are helpful for Fellbats, Vargeists, the vampire counts. Maybe we're thinking of Chaos Furies for any of the demonic factions. But we are on the Khorne video, and I see it most with Khorne. And the problem with Khorne is they have the best Chaos Furies, so this problem hurts me even more. And it is diving in your Chaos Furies at an incorrect time. Some people see the Vanguard, and I did this to be a little egregious because the AI is, say it with me class, very, very stupid. But if I rear charge them, this is the more common scenario, so use your mind palace. People put their Chaos Furies in the corners of the map with Vanguard, and then they immediately sprint in for a rear charge. If I do that, the AI just AFKs and lets me do it. The main problem is you're playing against a real human opponent. They are smart. So Chaos Furies dive in way ahead of the front line. Way, way ahead. They'll jump on these Jade Warrior crossbows, try and get some damage out, but then enemy heavy cavalry, light cavalry can just come back and rear charge them and do insane amounts of damage. Or enemy archers can just turn and fire because the rest of your army is out of range, and the Chaos Furies are going to get smoked. Getting rear charged by the Jade Lancers, they're still doing good damage because Chaos Furies of Khorne are amazing, and that's why seeing them a sacrifice to the start of the game pisses me off so much. They're 650 gold, so they are amazing, but they're also expensive, and when people just like throw them away to get some damage on an archer, but then they died, it's like that archer is 650 gold. You just got half HP off of it to lose an entire unit. Please, no. Stop doing it. Ugh. So, I hate it. Next example will be what you should do. So I had to be a little aggressively stupid or the AI wasn't going to do what I needed them to do, i.e. shoot at or charge the Chaos Furies with their Jade Lancers as soon as I land. But with all your flying units, you should delay your engagements. We had this in the Vampire Counts video too, but your flying units are not there to protect your front line. The front line is there to protect any unit in the game that is going to win for you. So if you delay your engagement, you force the Jade Lancers to peel for the Chaos Knights, otherwise the Chaos Knights will get free charges in. The front line is busy going to go peel your Chaos Warriors, and all of a sudden there's not a lot left in the back line to deal with your Chaos Furies. They can go kill Grand Cannons, they could dive the Jade Warriors, though for some reason the AI put the Jade Warriors in the front line, so I had to let them separate a bit. But now we're going to take 2 different fights. Chaos Furies fighting those Jade Warriors crossbows, and a different one fighting the Grand Cannons. This time, the Jade Lancers are otherwise occupied, the infantry is otherwise occupied, and no one is back here to stop my Chaos Furies. Just because we delayed the engagement a little bit, we let our Chaos Warriors, we let our Marauders take a volley or 2 of extra damage from the Jade Warrior crossbows. That's fine. The front line is there to take damage for you. It's their function on the battlefield. It is way better for your front line to take a little bit of an ooey-owie than it is to lose your Chaos Furies, who can just do so much for you if you don't fire and forget them. If you don't treat them as suicide bombers, they can actually be workhorses for you. And I included this in the Khorne video because the Khorne Chaos Furies are the freaking best. They are the best. And I see these units, I'm like, man, they're really good. High weapon strength, high melee attack, flying unit, love those guys. People just chuck them into their death. I'm like, no, dude, no. They're so good. Please. Don't just let them die. Anyway, delay your air engagement. We have another tip for you here, and this one is Khorne specific. It is mostly about stat overload instead of stat spreading. So there's 2 ways to stat spreads. There's 3 possible options, and I think one is the worst, and one is unfortunately very common because our monkey brains enjoy big number going bigger. But melee attack and melee defense have nothing to do with actual damage. It's about how easily you can hit a target. Weapon strength is the only thing that matters for damage. And something I see a lot out of Khorne is over-indexing on melee attack in a single target. Like, let's see here. So these Jade Warriors, right? Jade Warriors, they're spooky guys. They have 34 melee defense. Bloodletters have 42 melee attack, and then they have 9 bonus versus infantry, giving them a 51 melee attack against Jade Warriors. The Herald of Khorne can provide 8 more melee attack, 8 more melee attack, so 16, and then an AoE of 40 melee attack. That is a lot. You're increasing your chances to hit by quite a lot, and you'll hit almost every shot. That's cool. That's nice. No problem with that. The problem is when you stack too many of those buffs on each other and expect to do increasing amounts of damage. Is now these guys have 86 melee attack apiece. That is quite a lot. That is very excessive, and the Bloodletters will chew through the Jade Warriors. But then I'll sometimes see people pop a Horn of Khorne or something on the Bloodletters as well, and then it's just way too much, way too excessive. You don't actually get that much more damage out. You just have a big number going bigger. But we already have effectively 95 melee attack against something with only 34 melee defense, so calm down. Anyway, we're gonna farm up for kills for a bit. I'll edit to get to the next point I wanted to make. All right, now we're on to the real part of this. So there's 3 scenarios, right? I mentioned that before. If you have a Horn of Khorne charged up, which we do now, and all that melee attack stuff we discussed, you can either give this guy who jumps in, uses Locust of Wrath, and then pop Horn of Khorne and give all of your buffs at once to this single Bloodletter, which I think is incorrect, but I see a lot because people like big number going bigger. Horn of Khorne is popped, Locust of Wrath is popped, and then this guy jumps in, even more stats. Meanwhile, over here, we have an unsupported Bloodletter. This guy has no buffs at all. So option 1, which I think is incorrect, is popping all of your buffs to get that number as high as possible in a single instance and wreck fools. This would be good with weapon strength, not with melee attack, because you're just increasing your chance to hit by a lot more. The better options, I believe I would show in a second, are either popping Locust of Wrath here and Horn of Khorne over here and giving both of them better chances to hit rather than one unit insane chance to hit, or layering them on cooldown. So you use Locust of Wrath, wait, and when Locust of Wrath wears off, then you pop Horn of Khorne, right? So you can either give the same unit twice as long of a buff, or you can give 2 different units 2 different buffs. But I do think that'll be better. Again, we'll fast forward to the other point. So here we go. This one's going to be the other option where I give Locust of Wrath to one and Horn of Khorne to the other. Now this guy still has 90 melee attack. It's pretty insane. This one at least has 58 now, and again, they both have their 9 more bonus versus infantry or whatever. But spreading out the buffs can be very impactful, because the extra Horn of Khorne really didn't help that much. I'm going to back them off at the same amount of combat time, I believe. Let's do that. Dun, 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 dun. So this one, due to RNG and whatever nonsense, actually killed more of a Jade Warrior with less of a buff. But you can see the unit that got a different buff got 500 more damage out, which is quite nice for them. So not very impactful over here. In fact, we strangely had a better result with less buffs just due to unit contact or RNG, while this guy had a noticeable difference in damage just because he actually got some stats that might have helped him. Since his melee attack is comparable to his opponent's melee defense, any buff really helps him out. It's kind of a nuanced thing to show, so it's difficult, and then a lot of it comes down to RNG and unit interactions anyway. Main point, main takeaway, and Khorne is a particular culprit of this, don't overdo it on the melee attack buffs. And I guess maybe even a tip 3.2.5? 3.5? I forget which tip this is right now. 2.5, sure, why not? Is Horn of Khorne is nice, but maybe don't overdo it in general. Save up for a Sword of Khorne or Unbreakable thing. The Unbreakable thing is nice for Minotaurs that are doomed, and you just want them to fight to last against a single entity or some cavalry or something. And a Sword of Khorne is great for clearing out blobs or killing an entire archer unit. Maybe more than giving 24 melee attack to the faction that already has the most melee attack in the entire freaking game. Ah, the third one. There we go. This is the third one. The Blood Speaker. So I see some people try and keep the Blood Speaker super cheap and use his heal, but his heal hurts himself. And I just want to say, I really don't think the Blood Speaker's heal is worth it unless he's in his Blood Shrine. The heal is not a percentage, it's a flat damage amount. So when you put him on foot and he uses 3 casts of his Blood Sacrifice, he can do significant damage to himself and get you to almost lose your Lord. And he has no form of self-healing. So you're taking a Lord, you're paying money for them, and your army relies on them for leadership, and then you just self-kill them. Seems pretty brutal to give like Minotaurs or Skull Crushers or something just a couple heals. So I really think you should only take the heal for the Blood Speaker if he's going to be on his Chaos War Shrine mount. Because there's all 3 casts, and the one on foot is less than half HP. The one on horseback is right around a half HP. And then this guy, it's still a good chunk of damage, but he still has 9,000 left. It's just like, okay, dude, you're one-shotting your own Lord. Is it that worth it? And I would argue no. So mistake number 3, I would just say only take the heal for the Blood Speaker if he happens to be on his shrine. Otherwise, he doesn't have the guts for it.
Subscribe, yes.